My name is Hester Stevens, and I'm the president of the South African Domestic Service and Allied Workers Union. I started to become a domestic worker at the age of 15. And I used to go to school just with the piece of dry bread. There was no butter on that bread. I can remember one evening I was doing my homework, and then I asked my mother the afternoon, because I know that it's a tough time, there's no food, my father didn't have the money to buy the proper food for us. Then I asked my mother, what are we going to eat tonight? And then my mother said, I will put a stone in the pot. So as a child, I started working as a domestic worker. And then when my son was born, then I said to my father and my mother, I think I need to go somewhere to make more money. So I decided to come to Cape Town. It was difficult for me is to leave my son at the age of 1 year old with my parents, and then he was still breastfeeding. I remember I was working for the dentist in Newlands, and then I used to cry, and then I decided that I want to go back because I miss my son. So when I arrived at home after a year, my son didn't recognize me. That was the most horrible time in my life as a mother, that your child didn't recognize you because we've been separated. He was on that side and I was here. I went to town from my workplace on a Thursday, and that was 1984. So I went and I was on the parade. And then I saw the police throwing tear gas, and I was in the middle of that. And I can remember how the tear gas was burning my eyes, and I couldn't understand why is it that the school children march from Wynberg to town, and now there's a whole commotion there on the parade. So I was standing there and watching them. Then I heard on the radio about Domestic Workers Association in Burke Street in Cape Town. That is where I found Myrtle and Maggie Uvis and them. And then I said to them, I heard that the union is here, association is here, is to help domestic workers. I can remember then I become a member. Since that time I become active and where I am today. If I can recall when I started working here, how they oppressed me, it was heartbroken. There was times that I cry because I'm isolated, I'm alone, and they always watch me when people comes in here, and they will watch when the people goes out, and the way they oppress me and let me do things that I'm not supposed to do. I can remember, when my old bathroom was outside, they had a cement block. And then they used to chop the wood for winter there. Then my boss used to say to me, you must chop the wood. And then I said, no, I'm not a man to chop the wood. You must get your garden to chop the wood. Then he said to me, I think that you are flippant rude. I said, no, I'm a woman. I'm not flippant rude. I just answer you. You know, sometimes the employers don't want you to answer. But it was for me as a worker and also be part of the trade union is to bring them back and bring them down from where they are, because to accept me as a woman, to accept me as a human being.